Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Happy holidays, happy almost New Year's Eve, you guys. Oh my freaking god, I cannot believe that it is almost 2023, and I do really hope that Christmas and Santa treated y'all well, and I just hope you had a great time. I know some people in Canada, it was kind of like bitter sweet. We were kind of going through it. There was like a huge storm that happened, and a lot of times a lot of people couldn't even make it to Christmas, which was really unfortunate. I live really far from my mom's. Well, I wouldn't say really far, but about like 45-ish minutes, and I just made it. I swear to God, I thought I almost died. We were good, but we had a crazy storm. A lot of people were closed in, and I just really hope everyone had a really good holidays either way, or if you guys are celebrating it a little bit later. I hear a lot of people are doing that too, but I do hope that you guys are having a lovely week so far. And oh my god, I have been trying to record this video for the past like 20-ish minutes. I just can't talk today, and I don't understand why. I'm like slurring over my words. I swear I'm okay, but like if y'all have been here for a hot minute, you guys know that like if I'm talking for a bit, I start to like really have a hard time like speaking. My mouth almost feels like it's like closed together, and it's very like, I don't know, like stiff, I guess, which is really bad if I wanted to be a voice actor, which is probably not the best combination, but like it's fine, it's fine. And speaking of which, I also signed up for a course in voice acting, and it starts on February 1st, I believe, which is really super freaking excited. And it is actually made by a voice actor that I have been watching for a very, very long time. So I know that I'm going to get my money's worth, and hopefully it will all go well. He says it's foolproof, but like all of them say that, but I know he's been in the game for over a decade, so I hope everything goes well. And I am just truly excited because half of it was paid for the funds that I made on YouTube, so it is really great. So thank you guys all so much for supporting me so far. I know we only have 5K, but like, come on, it's 5K. It was definitely 5K more than I had a couple months ago, so thank you all so freaking much for sticking around and watching my content, and you know, just being really sweet and kind, and I just really appreciate it. I definitely couldn't have, I could have, but I definitely could have paid for this course without you guys, and this is definitely one of a dream thing for me as well, minus the YouTube is definitely one of my other dreams that I'm doing. So I just want to say thank you very much for that. I really do appreciate your guys' support and love on the channel, and our tiny family is growing. I think we're at like 5.09 right now, which is super freaking excited. We're almost at 5.1, which is 5,100 people, which is so freaking excited, and we're almost close. Well, okay, I wouldn't say we're almost close. Back down there, Jamie. You're getting a little too excited, but we're almost 900 away from 6K, which is going to be another milestone challenge, which is going to be really fun. I remember doing that with my other challenge that I did, like another milestone challenge when I got to 5K. And basically what it is that the amount of followers you have is the amount of money you have to build a house or whatever you'd like to build. So I did that a while ago when we hit 5K, and I just want to continue on. So especially when you get to 5K, maybe 6K, I'll do that like every other. I was gonna do it like 5, 10, 15, but I feel like we can kind of break it down a little bit slower until like maybe my channel starts to really go off, whenever that may be. Fingers crossed. But I figured maybe we can do 5K, 6K, 7K, whatever. It's like 5K. We'll see what happens, but I'd like to do that. I think it'd be a lot of fun. But today, before, again, I always start rambling, this is what I'm building, you guys. I was very inspired by just like going back to the farm type of deal. Like I live in the middle of nowhere. So all I see is like like farms. I would say farms. And there is definitely more cemeteries than there are homes, which is like very like weird for me, because it's just like there's more ghosts than there are human physical people, you know, which is fun. But it's fine. And then we just have a lot more coyotes, which isn't fun. But you know what I find really weird is that, okay, my boyfriend, he lives in the city, and he's also a YouTuber, and I'll link his stuff down below. But he lives in the city. I do not. So I always thought that it was normal for me to have a lot more animals around the house, like, you know, like coyotes, deer, bear, you know, like bunny rabbits, squirrels, all that type of stuff. And for some odd reason, he has more like bunnies in his area, and I don't know why. Like, it is super weird for me when I go down there, because all the time, without fail, I will always see some like little rabbit going over and being like,
what's up, Doc?
so I just think it is so I just think it's so weird that like he has more wildlife on the daily than I do at my own house. Usually I hear everything at night, and that's kind of like when I'm already in my house, I'm safer, you know, like it's good, you know, it's fine. And speaking of like animals, when I was younger, my uncle used to take me to the cottage with our family, and we would go, quote unquote, hunt snakes. Now we did not kill them, so don't worry, I love snakes. But we would go over, grab the snakes, and then we'd scare our family. And it was out of love, okay? I'm not mean, I'm not evil. I just thought it was a funny prank, even though someone who, maybe my stepmother, who's from the Philippines, usually hates snakes, and I would never do that to her, because she has a good reason. She used to see pythons all the time in our house, and it traumatized her. I don't want to do that. But if it's like with my family, they don't have that, so it's okay, you know, it's fine. And besides, if I ever got in trouble, I could just blame it on my uncle, because really it was his fault. But obviously it's been a while since we did that. But there was one time we were at the cottage, and there was a bear, and we have like, there's like, it's on a platform that goes up high, and then there's like a glass sliding door. Now the thing is that everybody was inside the house, which was good. And my shepherd, this was a long time ago, but my shepherd at the time, his name was Jake, and he was a shepherd Malamute. So he was a big boy. He was a big dog, and he wasn't scared of nothing, nada. And there was this time where we were in the cottage, and my dad was telling me, apparently I think I was too young, so I can't remember, but he told me that they were all in like the living room, and they look over and they see Jake nose to nose on each side of the glass with this giant bear. And apparently this bear was just like staring at Jake, and Jake was just staring right back, and he wasn't doing anything. And I was like, I wasn't like surprised at all, because Jake was like a big boy, but my dad was like, oh my god, there's this giant bear not even a foot away, and it's just sitting there on the other side of the glass staring at my dog. And I think that was so funny. Apparently the bear just kind of did its thing and then just like went away. But a lot of times when I used to go, quote unquote, hunting for snakes, me and my uncle would always pass by like their dens. And obviously I didn't think anything of it. And I never realized how reckless that is, especially going in the woods where we lived. It was like a bear central station up in there. Like, like there were so many. And even like talking about it with my mom the other day, I was like, I was really reckless, even when we go to like tropical places. Okay, I love the ocean, and I've always wanted to be like a marine biologist too when I was younger, and I still like, I think it's really cool, and I want to go shark cage diving too. And I think that is really fun and scary, but it's fun. Don't worry, I'm not crazy. I know it's scary and dangerous, but I think it's really cool. And my mom said that she would do it with me, so it's all good. You know, I have someone to back up my craziness if it runs in the family. it makes sense, you know? So I realized that every time that I was in the ocean, and my sister is afraid of the ocean. She doesn't even like watching the movies in the water. Like so like Avatar 3, out of the question. Brittany will not watch it. Brittany's my sister. Obviously, that's the name. And she will hate water. She doesn't like watching Nemo. A lot of the times when there's like open water, it's just really scary for her. So I would really be the only one in the ocean while my mom would kind of, you know, as she would play with a little bit, and then when she got kind of fed up with the water, she would kind of just like go on land and relax and then just like watch me. But I remember, girl, there was a couple of times where I went in Mexico, I think, and I went like far out, like way far out. I definitely was reckless and silly and naive because I didn't realize like what I was doing, and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna go further out to get like the bigger waves, but there could be sharks around, there could be poisonous things in there could be a whole bunch of things. I could have got pulled out. Like, girl, I don't know what I was thinking. I was crazy back then. Those were my crazy days, you know. So now I'm just like, man, sandals and snow, oh, I'm insane. You know, like that's my peak right now, you guys. But honestly, guys, it is crazy. I love tropical places, and I'm going to Orlando in January, which is really gonna be fun. I really want to actually pre-record a couple of videos for when I go, so that you guys have some things to watch, which will be good. But I'm gonna be gone for 10 days, so hopefully that works. I'm not excited for the weather. I heard some of the guys want to like go out and do things, and people are just like not my scene. I am very awkward, and it's weird. Okay, when people are more extroverted around me, I get very quiet, but if they're quiet, I get very loud. It's very weird. I don't know. I'm sure I know a lot of people are the same way as me, but it's just like who I am. And especially, I don't like wearing like certain things. I don't like wearing shorts. I like wearing leggings and a sweater. I just feel more comfortable that way. But obviously in Orlando, it's quite warm, so I'm not sure how I'm going to get, especially being a Canadian. I think 16, 17 is a little too warm for me, and I don't know what that is in Celsius, I think is what you guys use. I don't know, it's super weird. In my house, it's up to like 68 degrees, or like 64, which is in our house, but when it's outside we use a different one, so it's so strange. I kind of use both, but I always get mixed up with the Celsius and the Fahrenheit and all that stuff, which is really bad considering I'm like 22 years old, and you'd think that I would know that by now, which I really don't, and that's fine because I don't care enough to learn, even though I really should. I'm such a dork. But anyway, you guys, yeah, so that is kind of what's going on. I'm so afraid of the weather in January. I know that it is going to be hectic, and I really, 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 really hope that it will be okay for my flight. I pray that the weather will be okay because it has just been really bad. It was, what is it? It's about like 7 degrees out right now. Oh, it is the degrees. Okay, so it is 7 degrees right now, so it is a little bit nicer outside today than it has been for a bit. A lot of you were like, 7, that's good to you? And I'm like, yep, 7 is good. Like, it was -9 the other day, and it was chilly, but 7 is pretty nice if we get into the positives. But you know, all I ask is for like a nice white Christmas, and that's all I care about. If I can't get a white Christmas, I'm not happy. But we usually get all of our snow, especially in Canada, around January, February, March. We mostly get the heavy hitting in January or February. So that is something to remember if you guys are from like another warm place. Just keep that in mind, because if you're planning to come around January and February because you want to see the snow, go ahead, be my guest. A lot of people haven't seen snow in person, and if you want to see snow, don't come in December because it's kind of like a gamble. We get some weird weather, you guys. We could have the furnace on one day and the next day you have your air conditioning on, and it gets hot, like usually 28 degrees, sometimes 30s, and the humidity is a lot of our summers, which is really funny, and a lot of people are surprisingly like surprised about that, which I find kind of humorous, but I understand a lot of people are like, no, Canada's like always cold and you guys like live in igloos, right? And we're like, no, that's not the case. That's just not like what goes on. But we do get really cold winters and really hot summers, so we kind of get the best of both worlds, but I don't really care for both or any. I like a 16, 15, maybe 14 degree weather. That is my sweet spot, and I'm okay with that. Anything hotter, anything colder than that, I'm very uncomfortable. And I sound like a little like princess. I'm like, no, I don't like hot weather, you know, like, ew, I don't want to go outside, you know, I can't. I don't like it. I will still go outside, don't get me wrong. I used to work in like a farm as a job, like a tree farm, and I was outside all the time, and it was really cold and it was awful. But I got to drive around like a little buggy thing, and it made up for it, so I was okay with that. And there were some weird stories in that place too. Like there were people from different countries that were coming to help us, and I would always catch them going to the bathroom outside in front of the building. Yeah, you're like, what? Yeah, that was the thing that we had to deal with quite a bit, and it was very gross. Please don't do that, because people will see that and it isn't pretty, okay? But it was crazy too. My mom also did like my sister's boyfriend dirty. She gave him a portable toilet for Christmas. Bruh. Like, what? But I hope your guys' Christmas was better than a portable toilet. So, and if it was, I'm very sorry. But I do really hope that you guys like this video. And please make sure to use the hashtag #SeeSimspo for me to see your builds and maybe get showcased on my channel every Sunday, or whenever we start doing that. And if you like this video, maybe please consider like, commenting, and subscribing. I will see you all later. Bye, guys.